at what was called a reserve price. I would like you to situate this entire scenario within the context of the guidelines for sale of government property. That's my first question. The second question that I have for you is how you came to define the permanent secretary and the head of service as political office holders. In doing so, I would like to refer you to the Constitution. Section 171 of the Constitution says, power to appoint persons to hold or act in the offices to which this section applies, and to remove persons so appointed from such offices shall vest in the President. It goes on to say, any appointment, that is section 1716, any appointment made pursuant to paragraph A and E of subsection 2 of this section shall be at the pleasure of the President and shall cease when the President ceases to hold office. Sections A and E of subsection 2 lists 1. Section A is Secretary to the Government of the Federation. E, any office on the personal staff of the President. You will observe that Section 2B, Head of Service of the Federation, is excluded under Section 6. D is also excluded. Permanent Secretary in any ministry or head of any extra-ministerial department of the government of the Federation, howsoever designated. Those two positions are excluded under Section 6. So the question is, how did we come to define the head of service and the permanent secretary as public office holders?
As political office holders.
Or political office holders. So, I don't know, I have lead questions, so maybe you want to take them so I can help support the point I'm trying to make.
Yes, sir. I would like to take this to your questions and not questions. Let me take them one at a time. Sir, the guidelines for the sale of houses are in two parts. One for career public servants and one for political office holders. Two. And what you describe as the process for a political office holder buying a house is quite correct. You need to be in occupation, it needs to be paid, and you are giving right to much. Those are the rules. But in the course of implementing the guidelines, we found situations where the guidelines do not cover everything. Justice Sambo's case was one of them. Okay? For instance, National Judicial, the Court of Conduct Tribunal operates like a court, but it was not included with courts. All other courts' houses were exempted from sale, but somehow Court of Conduct Tribunal was not included, and that was what started the whole argument with Justice Nasir el-Rufai, which I hope I'll have the opportunity to go into. So the point I'm making, distinguished attention, is that though the guidelines were quite detailed and exhaustive, and we try to stick to them, there are times when we run out, the rules run out. One example was a case in which a person filled a form.
No, please.
Yes,
Please, look. I think it is important for us to stay focused.
Okay, all right. I will give the example. I will go straight to that.
Yes.
I'm just trying.
You, Abdullah Tijani, Dr. Shuntoku, were political appointees.
Yes.
How come the guidelines were waived? How come you were able to buy your property at the price that you did when you did not occupy the houses?
Yes, sir.
That's the guideline.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to lay foundation that the guidelines sometimes run out, so we have to go back to the president in council and get rules. Okay? So, an example of the accounting general of the federation.
No. Excuse me.
No, sir, I want to make the point, sir.
Yeah, I know.
That we are not the only ones where such exemptions were made. This is what I'm trying to say.
Excuse me, just a second.
No.
Please answer him directly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please.
Yes, sir.
You leave other people. You are a political appointee.
Yes.
Use yourself and let us know how your situation was not covered by the guidelines.
Okay. By the time the president took the decision that the vice president guest house should be sold, we had finished bidding. We had done several rounds of bidding. We had done 2 or 3 walk-in sales, and we are just tidying up our books. Okay? Right? My house had been exempted because I could not buy my official residence, just like many others. And at some point, Vice President Atiku Abubakar called me and said he would want to buy one of these 3 guest houses. And I said, fine. But we had no rule then that allowed those exempted to buy any house. So I did a memo to the president. I said, Mr. President, Vice President, yourself, Senate President, Speaker, and many other people cannot buy houses from this program based on the current guidelines. I think it is only fair that they should be given an opportunity among the several guest houses available, or any houses that are unoccupied. They should be given the opportunity to buy, just like other political office holders, even though they are not in obligation, because they can't occupy 2 houses.
Why did they not bid?
Pardon?
Why didn't they bid to buy? That's what was required.
Bid to buy another house?
Yes. Like every other Nigerian, they were entitled to have bid for any house that was on sale.
That was not
particularly when they were not in occupation of those buildings.
Well, this is why I said sometimes the rules run out. When Vice President Atiku Abubakar,
when the rule sees
please,
when the rule says
Please, you are now here.
Please.
Yes, sir. When Vice President Atiku Abubakar came to me, he didn't say he wanted to bid for any other house. He said, I want to buy one of my 3 guest houses. So I had to come up with a policy that covered not only him, because I didn't want to go with the case only for Atiku Abubakar, because I know that the Senate President also didn't have a house, and so on and so forth.
Did Vice President Atiku Abubakar buy the guest house?
No, sir. In the end, he didn't. But I'm just telling you what I'll go to that. So I wrote to the president. The president approved. He said, yes, all these people should be given the chance, including judges, including justices of the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, FCT High Court, because their houses were not going to be sold as well, should be given the opportunity to buy one of the houses. Because as I has explained to you, we kept finding houses being hidden by various government agencies, so there were houses. That was how I now took that memo I wrote to everyone in that list, including the Chief Justice of Nigeria, and attached the form. I said, look, the President has approved that you can buy any of the houses, so we'll send you a list, you pick the one you want, then we put it for bidding, and then you get the right to match. So if you know you are not in occupation, you are given rights to match. So this is what I did. Okay? Vice President Atiku Abubakar never returned the form. I went to his office twice. The 3rd time he even told me I misplaced the form. I sent another one. And he never sent the form back. Okay? This is what happened. Until the whole sale of houses process was nearly coming to an end. Now, the decision to now sell the guest houses of the Vice President arose because of what happened in Bayelsa State, when the residents of Vice President-elect then good luck, was attacked, a grenade attack. President Obasanjo called me. I said, look, this thing has happened. I said, yes. He said, I think we should go back to the idea you had 3 years ago for the Vice President to move to Abuja House. Because after we spent money to renovate Abuja House for Chobom, Commonwealth Head of Government meeting, I went to his place. It was beautiful. The Queen stayed there for Chobom. So when I saw how beautiful it was secure. I went to VP Atiku. I said, sir, look at Abuja House. It's better than this house you're living in. He said, really? He said, yes, go and look at it. So he went, he saw it. He said, you are right. It's nicely done. I said, do you mind moving to Abuja House? It's more secure. And because then, the Student Center, we had a problem. You see, the residence of the Vice President then